And now would you stand as we remember them all, one by one.
Staff Sergeant David R. Ames. Sergeant Tony R. Applegate. Fusilier Paul P. Atkinson. Staff Sergeant Russell F. Awalt. Specialist Cindy M. Bedoin. Sergeant Lee A. Balas. Specialist Charles L. Bowman, Jr. Sergeant Jason C. Carr. Specialist Clarence A. Cash. Specialist Gerard A. Cohen. Fusilier Conrad P. Cole. Specialist Melford R. Collins. Major Mark A. Connolly. Private First Class Arden B. Cooper. Specialist Gary W. Krask. Lance Corporal Stephen R. Crofts. Specialist Mark R. Cronquist. Sergeant David R. Crumby, Jr. Specialist Roy T. Damian, Jr. Private First Class Candace M. Daniel. Private First Class Robert L. Doherty. Specialist Manuel M. Davila. Staff Sergeant Tashiana Dees. Sergeant Young Dillon. Private Neil W. D. Donald. Sergeant David Q. Douthit. Lance Corporal Francis C. Evans. Private Martin Ferguson. Specialist Douglas L. Fielder. Private Michael L. Fitz. Specialist John C. Fowler. Sergeant Kenneth B. Gentry. Fusilier Richard Gillespie. First Lieutenant Daniel E. Graybill. Private Thomas Haggerty. Staff Sergeant Garland V. Haley. Sergeant Tracy Hampton. Staff Sergeant Stephen Hansen. Sergeant Jimmy D. Hawes. Specialist Wade E. Hector. Warrant Officer Carrie P. Hine. Specialist James Hayden. Specialist David L. Hyman. Lance Corporal Terrence T. Hill. Private First Class Aaron W. Howard. Specialist Jimmy W. James. Specialist Thomas R. Gerald. Staff Sergeant Jonathan H. Cam. Grenadier Paul P. Keegan. Specialist Anthony W. Kidd. Captain Joseph G. Kime III. Private First Class Reuben G. Kirk III. Private First Class David W. Kramer. Sergeant Edwin B. Coots. Private John W. Lang. Fusilier Kevin Leach. Corporal Scott J. Lindsay. Specialist Gary W. Mahan. Warrant Officer Christopher Martin. Corporal James R. McCoy. Driver Jason P. McFadden. Specialist Jeffrey T. Middleton. Specialist James R. Miller, Jr. Private First Class Mark A. Miller. Staff Sergeant Randall C. Mills. Specialist Philip D. Mobley. Sergeant Nels A. Moeller. Warrant Officer John K. Morgan. Staff Sergeant Donald Morgan. Private First Class James C. Murray, Jr. Specialist Donald R. Myers. Guardsman Christopher A. Napier. Sergeant Cheryl L. O'Brien. Private Anthony T. Patterson. Specialist Dale L. Paulson. Specialist Kenneth J. Perry. Warrant Officer David G. Plosh. Sergeant Dodge R. Powell. Sergeant Ronald M. Randazza. Private First Class Jeffrey D. Reel. Private First Class Todd C. Rich. Lance Corporal Robin A. Robbins. Sergeant Stephen R. Robinette. Staff Sergeant Michael R. Robson. Private First Class Scott A. Rush. First Sergeant Henry J. Saunders. Specialist Manuel B. Sapien, Jr. Sergeant Baldwin Satchel. Fusilier Stephen T. Satchel. Second Lieutenant Kathleen M. Sheridan. Staff Sergeant Christopher H. Stevens. Specialist John B. Stevens. Private First Class Adrian L. Stokes. Sergeant First Class Gary E. Streeter. Sergeant William A. Strelo. Major Earl K. Stribling. Staff Sergeant Roy J. Summerall. Specialist Peter L. Swano, Jr. Warrant Officer George R. Schwarzenegger. Private Robbie D. Talley. Fusilier Lee Thompson. Private Roger E. Valentine. Private First Class Charles S. Walker. Specialist Thomas E. Walrath. Private Reginald C. Watson. Specialist Troy M. Wedgwood. Lieutenant Edward A. Whitehead. Sergeant Scotty L. Wittenberg. Private First Class David M. Wajorik.